The deluge of glamour, grit, and hypermasculinity which has swept through British schools comes not from textbooks or curricula, but from TikTok, YouTube, and Discord servers. And its name, unfortunately, is Andrew Tate. Described as an alpha male influencer, and I've talked about him a few times in the past, a former kickboxer, self proclaimed misogynist, Tate has amassed billions of views online. But while he may sit back in Romania, broadcasting to the world, awaiting his court case, the reverberations are felt in the corridors in Britain, in classrooms, in British classrooms, and in British staff rooms. It's worth pointing out what the meaning of the word misogyny comes from two Greek words, miso, I hate, and gyneka, women. And according to a recent NAS UWT survey of 5,800 teachers, nearly 3 in 5 report that social media has worsened pupil behaviour, and that Tate is not an outlier. He is at the very epicenter of this movement. Teachers report boys refusing to speak to female staff, barking at them, blocking doors, and justifying it by quoting Tate's belief that women should obey. A primary school teacher described 10-year-olds idolizing Tate's cars, his money, his views on women. And one secondary teacher recounted boys submitting essays arguing that women are men's property and then being stunned when parents were appalled. These aren't isolated incidents, they're patterns. And the patterns are the Petri dish, the Instagram reels, the TikTok videos, the gaming forums, the YouTube shorts, short, snappy, algorithm-fed content designed to reward outrage and certitude. And of course, the algorithm, children might be surprised that they're constantly being fed the same stuff. That is the algorithm. It doesn't mean that everybody believes this. It means that the watching habits of a particular individual dictate how those watching habits progress. And the algorithm feeds information that flatters those watching habits. That is the algorithm. The algorithm is tailored to you. Tate and others like him are selling a seductive ideology, and that is amplified by this algorithm. That masculinity is under siege, that women are to blame, that success lies in domination, social, sexual, and economic. These platforms don't offer counterpoints, they offer virality. Literally, they are viral videos about man. And for boys, particularly in socio-economically deprived contexts, it gives them a script because there isn't an alternative, an identity because there isn't an alternative, in a world where traditional role models have vanished or been discredited. Now, I think there's a lot to be said for the Andrew Tate idea about, tightening your belt and getting on with it. But unfortunately, Andrew Tate's stuff comes with so much extra baggage, and it's difficult to disentangle that idea about toughing it out and the idea about taking responsibility. It's difficult to disentangle that from all the other outrageous and phenomenally poor judgment that comes from the Tate pen, that comes with his oeuvre. The consequences of Tate and of this sort of Instagram thing and this algorithm are manifold. Female teachers bear the brunt, but all educators are impacted. There's a growing culture of disrespect, of hostility, of conspiracy-laden thinking. Fake news, woke lies, blue-pilled teachers are now part of some pupils' vocabulary. But it is conspiracy-laden rubbish based on this algorithm. There isn't one algorithm, there's many, each one tailored to you. Teachers report increased exposure to violent pornography, shortened attention spans. I find it extraordinary how only 10 years ago I could assume that I could keep a student's interest or a classroom's interest for about 7 to 10 minutes at a time before having to tell a ridiculous story. Now, it's less than 3 minutes. And And I don't think it's because my teaching has changed. I don't think it's because I've become more boring. And the belief that traditional authority is illegitimate, that I find interesting and disturbing. It isn't merely annoying. Part of it is that traditional authority is no longer seen. Traditional authority is absent. We don't have police on the street. It's dangerous. We have nothing to replace. We have nothing to challenge the message that is being put out by Tate. It's not good enough to stand there and say, don't listen, switch it off. Because that's not going to happen, because the algorithm is feeding these children's watching cycles. NASUWT reports that up to 30,000 violent incidents against teachers with weapons have taken place in a single year. This isn't only about one man. Andrew Tate and figures like Donald Trump channel a populist far-right sensibility, anti-intellectual, anti-feminist, and often deeply racist or homophobic. And their success lies in creating performative identities that appeal to the disenfranchised adolescent male. The enemy is always out there. The teacher, the woman, the liberal, the immigrant, the elite. They offer not conversations but confrontation. They offer a neat package, not the quasi-Quatang type. Not anything that actually offers some sort of solution. And this is the point. Quasi-Quatang may have been absolutely wrong. I think he was wrong. But he was offering a solution. The Tate stuff isn't even offering a solution. The Tate stuff is jumbling together all the rubbish and offering it as the only information which children are processing. That is much, much worse. This is not conversation, this is confrontation. This isn't knowledge, this is combat. And boys, uncertain of their own place in the world, find in these figures the illusion of clarity. And this is the problem. We're not equipped to deal with this. The Department of Education acknowledges the issue, but curriculum changes, leaflets, and even the much-praised Netflix drama Adolescence are not enough. While dramatic adolescence is not pedagogically sound, in some cases it may even reinforce the martyrdom narrative of boys who feel rejected. We must urgently rethink social media literacy, critical thinking curricula, and parental engagement. And we need support, not blame, for teachers. We must discuss masculinity in its plural forms without reducing boys to would-be threats or hollow stereotypes. And above all, we need an honest national curriculum, a national conversation in the curriculum about what kind of men we are raising today. Andrew Tate is not a disease, he is a symptom. He's a symptom of disenfranchised masculinity, of unchecked algorithmic influence, of silence in the face of online extremism. And if we fail to act, as we are doing, the consequences will not just be gendered, they will be throughout society. They will be part of society. Teachers, once again, are being asked to do more than educate. They're being asked to inspire. Well, I think that is part of what a teacher's job is. I think that's the main job of a teacher. 3 jobs a teacher's got: to inspire, to moderate, and to inform. And because of the bureaucratic pressures that teachers face every single day, they're doing a 4th job, this bureaucracy, this paper shuffling rubbish. And that is taking up all their time. And all these plans about what you're going to do in a class, all these lesson plans and so on, so that in the end we've got lots of plans and lots of intentions, but the reality is that the lesson itself gets shoved down the road of options, and teachers mug up on Wikipedia or Google the content of their next lesson, or they reprocess the stuff they've taught 5 years ago, and then they're surprised when children are bored. And they're no longer inspiring and they're no longer marking or moderating. Say, mark your own, swap your papers and mark your own work. This is an abnegation of responsibility, of the actual purpose, the actual reason why a teacher is there. So I think I've been working for some time now with creators in America, in Armenia, in Russia, in Israel, to see if there's a new way that we can harness AI and modern media to reinvigorate teaching, and to get teachers once again to inspire and to moderate and to guide students, because the information can be provided by buying in or showing videos and having interactive lessons using modern media. But nothing can replace the two things only a classroom teacher can do, which is to inspire and to moderate. And when a teacher fails to do those two things, then a teacher really is just taking up space. And it's very worrying. We have too many teachers now who are exhausted and who are just simply going through the motions. We need to inspire teachers so that they can inspire others. And yes, we must get them to do more than just educate. We must get them to inoculate the world against this hatred. We need the tools, the support, and the collective will to meet that challenge.